Well, I've never caught a disease from a prostitute because I've never visited one.
You can't catch a disease from a prostitute if you don't ever go to a prostitute. Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards. Jamie, how the heck are you, man?
You know, I'm not doing amazing like I was the last 2 weeks.
So you're unamazingly amazing.
So I set my alarm, woke up, and it was different than last Monday.
It hurt.
It hurt.
Man.
I don't know why the government does this to us.
Yesterday, getting up for church yesterday was a struggle. It was a real struggle.
I skipped it. I was like, I can't do it.
I made it to Sunday school, and I was like, man, I'm tired. I don't even think I spoke the whole 30 minutes of our Sunday school lesson. I don't think I had anything to contribute because I still had that brain fog going on, that I'm still asleep brain fog.
I turned on the news, and for the first time in a long time, my wife told me, because I don't really remember it, she said I didn't scream bullshit at the news. So she knew that
you were
she knows that hour was screwing with me.
It was messing you all kinds of up.
Yeah.
Because you weren't screaming at Joe.
They'd do 2 hours. I'd start believing what they were telling me.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. I know they were trying to pass a bill recently to do away with daylight savings time.
Why can't we do it as a state? I mean, you got
Arizona does it,
and you got West Bend, Indiana does it.
Just the town.
Yeah.
Look, at this point, I don't identify with time change, with daylight saving time.
I am anti-time.
I don't identify with time change, daylight saving time. So, since that's no longer part of my truth, can I just show up everywhere an hour late?
Can we make it a political party? Standard timers.
I will be on time half the year.
True.
The other half, I'll be an hour late. But I'm still on time, so y'all are just an hour early.
I don't know why they do it.
I don't either. Like, I understand different time zones, like Central, Mountain, Pacific.
I'm not sure I understand that. The sun's still going to come up at the same time and go down at the same.
Yeah, but if you were in California, the sun's setting here at 7 p.m. In California, it's like 11:45, and the sun would start setting there.
So I got a friend who's a stockbroker in Northern California.
Because everything in California would be 4 hours ahead, so
he has to start work at 6:30 in the morning because that's when New York Stock Exchange opens.
Yeah, okay. But I get
But he's
that.
done at 1:30.
But that goes all the way around the world. Full circle.
Well, let's just keep the time the same. Let's make it standard time for the whole world.
And eventually you would adjust to that. Like, well, the sun comes up here at 3:30 in the morning, and then it sets at...
I'm going to have to go to bed when the sun's down.
Yeah, your body would
Humans aren't stupid.
It would adjust. You would adjust. The animals would adjust.
Even the caveman was like, oh, me so tired. Me go bed, sun been down 3 hours.
No, they didn't have daylight saving time.
No. But he knew when the sun came up and the sun went down with his eyeballs.
I think we should get rid of it. I really do. And this is the time I like.
Why can't
this is my favorite daylight savings time period. This half of the year, it should stay here. I'm good with that because I have more daylight.
But I just remembered the camera's on.
Yeah, we're recording.
That's all.
We're recording video of this. Not necessarily to post the whole thing on YouTube, but I wanted to make some shorts with it.
Hey there.
Like Jamie waving at it right now.
Well, we'll do this for the camera. We are the only podcasts where the hosts are also Cannonball Run champions.
Have to mention that every week.
In a second-gen Prius with a 1.5 liter. Got to throw that in or we're not champions.
Well, we'd still be champions, just not originators.
Okay.
Not OG champions. We'd just be champions. Now we're OGCs.
Yeah.
We'd have just been C's.
There's a new race called the All 48.
All 48?
Got to hit all 48 states.
That's missing 2 of them, though.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you're going to drive across the Pacific to get to Hawaii.
I get that one. So, but why couldn't
you go through Canada to get to Alaska, I guess.
You get on a ferry. They have cars in Hawaii.
Yeah, but you're supposed to do it in the same car.
Okay. You pull into a shipping container in L.A. somewhere, get on a boat, a month later get to Hawaii.
Get off the car.
And then you end in Hawaii.
Could fly into,
that would be
military cargo plane.
Definitely. You could do it in a small plane and you could fit in a commuter jet.
If you had, a Smart for two?
Do a Fiat.
A Fiat or a Mini?
One of them three-wheel cars.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we would... You know how bad that would have been stinking?
Can you imagine doing...
6 days, and the Mini Cooper wouldn't be that bad.
I heard the fastest way to do it, I was reading on this 48 race, 3 trips across country. We did 2. One more.
So, you do the north, the middle...
And then the south.
So, we would need to... Either way, we're screwed.
We'd have to leave in Maine...
Yeah, but
go all the way to Oregon. We'd have to zigzag some to hit middle states.
Yeah, and then we'd have to go. That'd be 4 trips for us.
Come through the very middle.
Top, middle, west, out back, and then back again. So it would take us 4 trips. Even if we started in the south.
Well, no, we could start in Georgia and do the east coast all the way up to Maine and then come down. We would miss New Hampshire and Vermont. Go through New Hampshire and Vermont, coming back, then Western New York, which we'd double. We'd do it twice because we went through it going up on the East Coast. We'd probably do 95, so we'd have to hit Pennsylvania. We'd have to go back the way we went to California.
Yeah, but then we would have to, we can't end out west. We have to get back home.
Oh, no, we would start here, go up to Maine, out to the coast somewhere, then back, and then... Oh, yeah, you're right.
Either way, if we start in Georgia, go to Florida...
You might as well call my math meth.
Go to Florida.
My meth is
shoot
wrong.
Back across the southern United States, get out west, shoot back at an angle, and end up in New York. That would still miss a lot of the East Coast, because there's a lot of little danglers below New York.
We could get Florida on the way up. Just head south
first.
Yeah, and then go through up 95.
Well, no. So you would go Georgia, go to Florida, Florida to Alabama. Then we'd hit all the southern states out west, zigzag or do like an angle.
Actually, we could start in.
Then we go up California and back across.
Might as well go because if the south part of Alabama's thin, just go into Mississippi. And then we still miss Louisiana, though. Start here and hit. What could we hit in the middle to get to Louisiana that would fix? Because 40 hits Oklahoma, Texas, and all those Midwest states.
10? Does that end?
We didn't touch Kentucky at all going out there.
We didn't, did we?
No. We did just a second of Kansas.
We didn't catch anything.
We did 1 second of Kansas. So you hit Kansas.
We were in Kansas for like 1.25 miles.
Yeah.
That was on 44, right?
I forget the name of the highway.
It was
like, welcome to Kansas, welcome to Oklahoma.
Yeah. Welcome to Indian Reservation territory.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because that road was creepy. That was with the toll.
That was actually desolate, too. There was no... Did you notice if you looked out?
There was nothing.
There were no lights.
I guess they don't have power in all those TPs yet.
I mean, once you left, there was a little town past Springfield, Missouri. And then after that... My anus is right here. Oh, you mean the fudge factory?
Yeah, with the not so great fudge.
With the store-made fudge. Yeah. I'm sure they had to put
not homemade fudge.
No, I think my anus could make better fudge with the right ingredients.
Well, that according to your anus.
Yeah,
your anus is the best place to find fudge. Mm-hmm. According to your anus,
it's the best place to buy fudge because I still love Uranus's fudge, even though. I didn't think it was the best fudge.
But it was good.
From my anus.
So it was good fudge.
Well, it was your anus, not my anus.
His anus.
No.
Not my anus.
Now we're ready to mature.
We were ready to mature on the last show we did, too.
Well.
You need to make sure you check out the Conspiracy Juice Bar on our YouTube channel, Race Car Backwards Media. We've now recorded 3 episodes. So we did the Roswell incident. The Bell Witch, and Project Bluebeam we recorded today. Now that'll be released later in the week, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, so be on the lookout for that.
So I mentioned on the Juice Bar doing COVID. Do you think we're too close to COVID still for us to do COVID as a conspiracy?
Maybe that's like a bonus episode.
Maybe we need a Patreon account.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you should have to pay to listen to our really controversial stuff.
I think you should look into COVID.
Because then, if the government's monitoring us, they would have to pay to listen.
No, they wouldn't. They'd hack in and listen for free.
Well, they probably already do.
Or they just tax us.
And well, they already do that.
A listening tax. Then we'd have to pay even twice as much on our taxes just to cover our podcast that we're charging the government to listen to.
Did you see where Anchor's just Spotify now?
Yeah. Don't get me started.
We're just Spotify now.
Spotify for podcasters. But they're changing. Like, used to, it was if you had X amount of listeners a month, you could be part of their program and you would advertise for Anchor.
So we lose our penny an episode when they merged?
Well, we haven't yet, but it's warning me now. It wants the majority of our listeners to be on Spotify. That is why we're now available on iHeartRadio, Pandora.
So you saw that conspiracy and just went full force.
Yeah, and we're on Amazon, we're on Google, we're on all the podcast platforms now because Spotify wanted most of the users to be on their account. I was mad at Spotify too. Now,
so they
did fix my account. I don't have to cancel it, but I don't think they own it. Spotify owns it, so they want to drive most of the customers to them. I get it. Whatever. That's their prerogative. I want to be on every platform because I don't want to limit my listeners or tell my listeners what they have to do. I want you to have your own free will, and you can listen to me on any platform you want. And if we're not on the platform you want to listen to us on, let me know. I'll add it.
Have you noticed that we're like 100 times bigger on YouTube with this podcast?
Yeah, it's getting a lot more listens on YouTube than it is on the other platforms now.
So, do we need Spotify? Do we need Spotify on our podcast, or will the government tell Spotify to shut us down?
Spotify's going to.
Or will Spotify?
We're being flagged right now on Spotify for misinformation because of these comments here. But do we need Spotify? We don't need anybody.
Yeah, but we can send our digital recording to. They are storing our digital recording, but we could find someone else to store it and then.
Yeah, I've already looked into it.
Yeah.
There's way more options out there than I realized.
There's Podbean.
Anchor's, yeah, Podbean's one.
Yeah.
But that costs money. We'd have to pay for that one monthly. But there's other free options similar to Anchor that we can use too.
We could just go get our own sponsors. We could go sell this platform of ours and go rogue. We're kind of rogue now because we're not affiliated with NASCAR at all. Or anybody that is affiliated with NASCAR.
And the rate we're going, we're never going to be affiliated with NASCAR.
Well, if they would listen to our suggestions, maybe they'd have a race worth watching. But I don't think
they're ever going to listen to ours. They don't listen to any suggestions. They brought Danica back 2 weeks in a row, 2 years in a row.
That's true.
They're not listening to anybody's suggestion. Even Clint Boyer, who, is okay. Even he doesn't like. I mean, every time he looked at Danica, which was rare because she's like 3 feet shorter now.
She's like a little hand puppet, a little sock puppet. Have you noticed that?
What do you mean?
She's just way down there.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Joyce, I think 3 feet taller than her.
She's vertically challenged, but
what is she? 2 feet 11?
I think she's 3'11".
3'11"
and a half.
Does that make her a dwarf?
No, makes her.
I'm not going to say the other word.
Makes her a good band.
Good band.
Yeah, I like 311.
Yeah.
I mean, they were my favorite, but
they were a decent band.
Yeah, they were better than some of the other ones.
Well, she needs to go with her 311 then.
Now, you think she'll be back next season?
I don't think she has the following of NASCAR fans that they think she has. I think she has a great following, social media wise, but I don't think it is race related.
And I also think other women have come into
that. Sounded bad, like I was a.
No, not at all. I didn't.
Or race related sounds like race relations. Race is such a horrible. Let's say automotive.
Call it,
automotive.
What was the word for the pre-com word? What was it?
Well, that sounds bad too.
Paracum. Remember they were in California, they changed field.
I call Paracum a good night.
So the pair something.
I'd sleep early too.
What are we changing the word race to then? If we
How
can't
about
say
Two Come
race,
Sally? No, that wasn't it. What was her name?
Two Come Carry.
Two Come Carry. New Mexico, my favorite town.
New Mexico. Two Come Carry in New Mexico.
What'd I say? Two Come Kathy?
Two Come Sally.
Sally.
Not Kathy.
All right.
Oh man, what were we talking
Whoa. Something.
Danica in the booth.
Danica in the booth.
The booth sucks. Fox as a whole. I'm not a fan of Fox. I've said it on here half a
Man, we don't even need to waste time talking about them. I mean, even Mike Joyce picking fights during the broadcast.
Oh man, I'm sick.
Let me spell it out for you, you digital keyboard warriors.
He might as well say, "Hey, all you idiots, let me make this simple for you."
I mean, I understand they got to sell advertisements to give us the race for free on network television.
I'm okay with the advertisements. I'm okay with the commercials. Like, whatever. The commercials are just as bad this week as they were last week, as they were the week before.
Well, 98%.
It is better than Daytona. There was more commercials during the 500 than this week. My problem is, every week, these Twitter warriors or whatever, keyboard warriors as Mike likes to call them, they're complete dicks to Mike Joy online.
It shows
Every
his
week.
age. But
every week, he goes back at them online.
Shows how old he is, though.
It makes him
They're all being critical on their phones, not on their keyboards.
But it makes him the bigger a-hole because he comes at them on live TV. Mike Joy has a platform with Fox Broadcasting. He's in the booth, and he is attacking the people who attack him.
Remember, though,
going back and forth.
We've accused
on
Fox.
Twitter, I can ignore it. But if he does it on the broadcast, I can't ignore that. I don't want to be a part of his little hoorah he has with 13 people on Twitter. I could care less. I think he's an old idiot. I said it.
Hey,
I don't care.
He's proof that Fox hates NASCAR fans.
They're still using the cartoon characters. They brought Danica back 2 races in a row, 2 years in a row. They still do the truck race in the second part of the season out of a garage somewhere in Charlotte.
I think it's kind of like us in an RV.
That's just probably Michael's house.
Put them in the RV.
That's exactly what it is. They don't even
green screen them. Let's green screen them.
You got Larry McReynolds part of the broadcast on Sunday now from Charlotte. Look, I say put Larry in the booth.
Yeah.
If it's going to be Clint and Mike, put Larry up there. Larry's old, but he's still remembering. He ain't forgetting yet.
He's got the respect of the garage. He's won championships.
Well, he's still relevant. If you look, although yesterday he got it wrong because he said everybody that takes 2 tires here ought to be fired.
Well, actually, whoever decided to have 2 races at Arizona needs to be fired.
Oh, yeah. Really, 1 race there is a little much for me.
But I'm thinking the fan experience, if you're live and at the track, must be awesome because they're selling out.
Yeah, it has to. Look,
it's bad TV, though.
I think what frustrates me the most about this race here is they've built it up for the last few weeks we have a new package. We have a new, smaller spoiler. It's going to be better. We fixed the product.
No, they didn't. You don't want to fix it? Put 1,000 horsepower on it and let them see how far they want to mash the gas pedal to the floor.
Well, see, I think
they won't have passing.
I think that's the only way to fix it is to give them too much power. They should not be wide open anywhere. I don't think. I mean, okay, Talladega.
No,
Daytona,
they need to feather that pedal.
But I want to see it. I want to see it at Atlanta. I want to see it at Vegas. I want to see it at Martinsville. I want to see it at Darlington. I don't want to see them wide open.
I don't want to see this at Martinsville.
I want so much power in that car where, like you said, they have to feather the pedal through the turns not to spin out.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to get what we get week in and week out. It's just repetitiveness is all we're getting. It doesn't matter what style of track we're on anymore. 2 miles, 1.5, or 1 mile track. It's the same dang story. I mean, it's not entertainment anymore. Nobody can pass. These races are won and lost on pit road.
They're won or lost.
And we don't even get to see pit road because we're at commercial.
Yeah, they're won and lost at the yellow flag now.
Well, yeah, you're getting a yellow flag at the end now.
Yeah, you're gonna have green, white caution, maybe 2, maybe 3.
I don't know. It's just annoying. It's like on top of bad product, you have bad broadcasting. So, look, there's been episodes. This is the way I can compare it. There's been episodes of the Dale Jr. Download where I'm like, I don't care about this guy. I don't know him. I don't know his story. I'm trying to think of an example. Chipper Jones. I'm not a baseball guy. I like Chipper because he's a Braves and I am from Atlanta, but just as an example, I don't know a lot about Chipper. I get excited when I see Tyler Reddick or, some of the NASCAR
Well, it's a
guys.
racing show.
Exactly.
So you want racing.
When you go baseball on me, I don't necessarily listen right away. Nor do I. There's some I might not even listen to because I don't like the guest. But I can listen to it still because I enjoy Dale Jr. and Mike Davis. I enjoy the booth, per se, their persona. I like their interactions. Dale Jr., Steve Letarte, Rick Allen, and Burton. I like their interactions together as well. Personal preference. You might feel different at home, or you might feel different
Well,
here.
it's a racing show. I kind of tune out. Unless, he had his uncle who worked for his team.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
I'm interested in that.
A crappy product on the track, I can still handle watching 3 hours of the NBC team. I think Fox, since Jeff left, Fox has had a hole. Jeff completed Clint. Clint stayed not in line, but
Clint was relevant with Jeff.
exactly. And I think Jeff steered Clint where he wanted Clint to go instead of boing, boing, boing. Instead of like chasing a squirrel at times like Clint is now, Jeff could guide Clint.
And that's Clint's problem. He doesn't have someone to follow.
Exactly. And Mike's not that guy. Nor should he be. He needs the other commentator in the booth.
Well, Mike's having his diaper changed during the commercial break.
Mike's your play-by-play guy, so that's what he needs to focus on is that. Where your color commentary is coming from Clint and Jeff, or used to be Jeff, Clint needs that other commentator to go back and forth with, like Dale's got.
I don't think it worked with Tony Stewart. It might have been a boss-employee relationship.
Who they put in the booth dictates Clint's performance, right? So Clint by himself with Mike is not my favorite at all. I don't care for Clint's style of broadcasting, but they do okay, just the two of them. Well,
Danica and Clint proved that
I can handle it.
Clint should not be the lead.
No, Danica and Clint.
Danica was more boing boing than
horrible.
Clint.
Danica was horrible. There's just no other way around it. I don't think Danica does a good job in the booth. And then Clint's like it's like he just doesn't like her.
I don't think he likes her.
And it
shows.
It shows. And it's almost like Mike's tolerating her. And that shows. They talk over her the whole time. And then I think it's because she says so little.
She's like a whack-a-mole. You never know when she's going to pop up and say something.
So yesterday she went to speak and Clint spoke over her. And I think because they're not same height level, Clint didn't see her out of his peripheral.
Yeah, who's this short?
Yeah.
What's that down there?
Exactly. He didn't see her mouth start to move or her body movements because I did on TV. I saw it. But he kept talking and he kept going on and on and on. Then Mike responded. And then what she chimed in with next was irrelevant because we've done moved on. It's 2 laps later, but she still has to get it out and say it. That's where I think a good broadcaster, 1, would know how to butt in better. 2, I think she would have learned just to shelf that idea and not worry about it. But she's not.
I don't know why they can't do this, and maybe because they got to lug cameras around. But MRN and PRN do a fantastic job of covering the race.
It's like we talked last week, though. The indie guys are exciting.
Yes.
And make you want to keep watching or watch more.
But I've got reporters telling me what's going on in pit row while I'm watching commercials on the broadcast. I don't know how to fix that. I mean, yesterday's race, you could have run. Pit road was the most important thing in yesterday's race. That's
no
where
doubt.
you won or lost.
That's 100%.
I mean, who passed anyone after the first 5 laps?
Other than
Harvick?
Kevin.
Harvick?
That was it.
That was it. And 5 wide's great for what? 2 laps? And then they stretch out and it's over.
Yeah, I mean, the restarts are really cool here, but you don't have a lot of restarts. So I thought back on it. I mean, Jamie McMurray said it on, what was it, Door Bumper Clear, that Phoenix has sucked since its inception. So
how do you fix it?
Phoenix?
How do you fix Phoenix? I think
sell it?
I think high horsepower, no downforce.
You sell it.
But they sell out.
Okay.
But the money's in TV.
Sell it.
What was the demographics on those watching it?
Dude, their TV.
Is anyone even watching it anymore?
No. I mean, I haven't seen their TV ratings come out as of the recording, but
I mean, the broadcast is so weak that ABC after lunch ran pre-Oscar show until the Oscars at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. That means there's no.
Do you think more people watch the Oscars or more people watch the Phoenix NASCAR
But it wasn't
race?
even the Oscars. It was the pre-Oscars. It's like Super Bowl day where they start at 12 noon.
Was the Oscars on last night?
Apparently.
Okay.
Or they wouldn't have had 6 hours of
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So
pre-Oscars programming.
Head to head, the Oscars last night, Phoenix. Who watched?
Well, we'll have to mention what the total is next week, but I think more people watch the Oscars than the race.
I think you're probably right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I might start just listening to the race while I'm doing stuff around the house on Sundays on PRN or MRN. You can listen to them through their app for free.
I had all intentions of doing that this weekend, listening while I watched at the same time. But I just ended up, I couldn't talk about Danica if I didn't watch, right? So
I think she's a non-talk about issue at this point.
Oh, I'm just saying, our people who listen to this show, they watch the race. Well, not all of them even watch NASCAR, but if they watch the race, they might want to hear our opinion about what was said. So I thought maybe if she said something spectacular, I'd want to remember it. So, and while I was working on the Conspiracy Juice Bar show notes also during the race, so I just turned it on Fox and rolled with it.
Well, I think this isn't a profitable endeavor. Maybe what we need to do is do a side-by-side next week. We'll grab a little bit of the PRN race.
Well, we're going to be at the race next week.
We can't do it next week. We're live.
Yeah. And then we're in Coda.
But the experience is awesome live, no matter what. Like last year, we were like, that's a great race. And then we got home and heard how lousy it was.
So maybe it's the same with Phoenix. Maybe Phoenix is a better event in person.
Maybe we should go. We know how to get there.
I mean, we can be there in 2 days.
Prius might even make it.
We can be there in 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got.
We know some real crappy hotels we can stay in that are cheap too.
It's quicker. I mean, honestly, we could just take 10 this time.
Yeah.
Phoenix is on the bottom side. We don't have to go out and fly.
Get some beignets in New Orleans. It's the only thing good there.
Well, there's how you hit. Then we hit New Orleans. Then we can start the 48 while we're out there.
Yeah.
What's it called? The 48 Tour 48?
And we're not doing that.
Tour Day 48?
I thought it was cool, but we ain't doing it.
You never. Don't ever say never.
We'll do it in an RV while I'm sleeping in the back.
You won't remember it?
Well, if we do it during time change, I won't.
All right, so let's talk about this racing over we had at Phoenix this weekend.
Can you call it a race or just cars commuting to work?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Because those guys are working. Aren't they commuting?
Yeah, we'll just call it the commute. So
the Phoenix commute.
On Saturdays, during Saturday's Xfinity commute. And see, that'll help you in your point of not offending people by talking about race.
Oh, I like offending people, but I don't want to go down the race offensive.
So that helps. We'll just call it the commute. That's why it sucked this weekend.
Do you think I offend anyone if I call myself a dumbass white guy?
Maybe. Yourself.
I'm not offended.
Okay.
Should I identify as one?
What, dumbass?
I mean, what's that big word? Anatomically? I think I said it right. Anatomically, I'm a man. And I also identify as a man.
I can't argue with that.
And sometimes I can be pretty stupid. So doesn't that make me a dumbass white man? I'm not really white, though. Isn't it more like a pink?
Peach.
Peach, you think?
I got some orange going on. Green.
Well, you know, my mom's family is like 100% Scottish.
Purple. What about purple? Teal. I have blue Jesus.
You're every color there is, Brad.
I know. I have blue Jesus, as we discussed earlier. Well, not on this show, but blue Jesus is not Project Bluebeam.
I don't know.
But if it was, I've got it covered.
If it's an anagram, panagram, pentagram. No, what was it? What was that? Gram? There was something. They were going to shoot up in the sky. Hologram. I knew it was one of those grams.
Anagram, pentagram, graham cracker. So, congratulations to Sammy Smith. He won the Xfinity Commute at Phoenix Saturday. It's his first win of the season.
He couldn't even celebrate with a beer, dude.
18. He's the youngest winner.
Wiener?
He's the youngest
might be a
winner
wiener.
from
I don't know.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, congratulations. That's his first win. You know, that's the only... Dude, I didn't even think the Xfinity race was that exciting.
No, it's pretty boring.
I mean, I will give it up to Junior Motorsports.
I watched it live because it was raining.
Wrecked each other again.
Well, they're coordinated in that every week, aren't they?
You'd think they have to fight during the meeting. I think they would. I think Junior probably brings that boxing ring he has and just says, hey, maybe that's the problem. They're not. Maybe he should bring the boxing ring. Let them take out their frustration. I mean, you had Brandon. Brandon's Brandon. I mean,
so, you know, a good fight with your spouse is good makeup sex. What is it with your co-driver? Make them keep their clothes on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. But I think they should. Box it out. Just get it out. If they do it at the shop, maybe they won't fight on the track. Because what Josh Berry's like, if I turn this red blinking light on in my car, maybe they'll stop running into me and they'll see me. Because it had the rain package on it. I would have died laughing if he'd have really turned it on.
He should have.
It would have been funny. But, I mean...
Do you think it would have prevented Harrison Burton from crashing?
Nah.
Why?
His time clock went off.
You know, Wood Brothers Racing is a sad shell of itself with him driving. He really sucks.
Well, when's the last time Woods Brothers Racing has been relevant? Like, truly.
They won the Daytona 500, 5-6 years ago?
Okay. Michael McDowell.
It wasn't Michael. It was
Ricky No, they ran it with Trevor Bain. I know what you're talking about, but Michael McDowell won it. Ricky Stenhouse won it.
But they won.
I'm just saying, that doesn't mean they're relevant. They're competitive.
Well,
they're the Penske.
Who was the last good driver they had? David Pearson?
Yes.
Well,
I mean, Blaney drove for him. But see, Blaney drove for him before Blaney was good. And then Blaney went to Penske.
Why do they screw up the car when everybody else was doing better in a Ford than Wood Brothers? I would think they don't even monk with that thing in the garage. They just buy it from Penske.
You would think. I don't think they should touch it. I think Penske should just set it up, but... The only way
Let Penske drive it to the track for him.
I think you send Austin Cindric to the Woods Brothers, because then he'll have the support because of his dad, and then Wood Brothers would be better taken care of, and then you put Burton in the 2-car.
My prediction, Burton's going to wash out with no wins.
You don't think he'll go anywhere? I mean, in all honesty... I haven't even thought about it.
He's in a Penske car, which wins.
He's got experience. I haven't thought about it, but that could put him in the 4-car.
That would be a mistake, in my opinion.
Well, then they would have 4 drivers and 0 personality.
Well, his dad didn't have much of a personality either, so...
He does now.
He's got more than he's got.
The governor? I mean, the mayor?
Let's call him governor. Why not? I'd vote for him.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Button? How did him and Ward sound so different, man?
Well, Ward raised himself in the woods with a pack of wolves.
I'm going to go home and old Deb would old I just went on out of the woods.
I'm going to go out in the woods.
Ward, my name Ward. Ward Button.
Ward say on Dale Jr. download, he said, I just go out in the creek and I take me a bath every day and it was cold.
Fish with my hands.
And eat it barefisted.
You know, that's up there where Cocaine Bear was, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Think he saw him?
I think he hung out with Cocaine Bear.
Need to check that movie out and see if
I think it's already pay-per-view.
Oh, it was that bad?
Yeah, my kids, I said, let's go watch it. It'd be funny. And they came and told me Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 2 out of 1,000 or something like that. And I said, okay, well, we'll just wait till next week and we can buy it on Amazon.
Did you?
No, I looked at it and it's still too expensive.
Oh, you're waiting until it's like 99 cents?
$2.99. I might blow on it.
Free with your subscription?
If all three of us, my 2 boys and I, watch it, $2.99, $3, it's half the price of theater ticket.
$1 each?
Yeah.
Well, everybody don't have to pay $3.99. At home, well, you buy it once and it's yours.
Uh-huh.
But you charge.
I rent it. I don't do the $5.99 own it.
So you
on the cloud.
But you charge your kids to watch it?
No, I'm just very.
You sell them popcorn?
I'm very cheap, as you know.
Oh, trust me.
We don't have a new recording device because I'm not going out of pocket because our little Cannonball Run went over budget.
Yeah, well, we'll eventually get one.
Probably in a month or 2.
I was waiting until June.
That'll work.
That's a good pay month.
And then we'll interview people.
Then we can have our guests can finally get on the show.
We can have an XLR microphone, Bluetooth phone interview.
Yeah, I think if we're going to do it, might as well get it all.
No.
So, William Byron wins the race this weekend, making it 2 in a row. Man.
Wow, there's another guy with no personality.
You know, I'm starting to like him.
He's got skills as a driver, but he still is 0 when it comes to personality. Maybe out of a 10, he's a 3.
You know, I can't dog him, man. I was trying to think about it yesterday, like what negative I could say about William Byron, but I couldn't come up with nothing. I mean,
who was the last driver Hendricks had with character? Bush? Kyle? I think so. Does Rick?
I got a friend of mine who really likes him, so it's probably because of that I just can't hate on him.
Well,
we met his parents, remember?
Oh, yeah, we did.
And they were super cool.
That's Charlotte.
Yeah, so...
That doesn't give him personality, though. He's got a skill set that's awesome.
I think he had more personality when he was in the truck at KBM.
Think we could get him on our podcast?
Probably not.
See?
Not yet. Season 3.
Season 3? I'm shooting too far?
Yeah, I think you're trying to bring it in too quick. You got to let it percolate a little bit.
Get a little more viewers?
A little more something. Listeners, viewers, whatever.
Think he would request money? I ain't paying him no money.
No, it's personality is what we're giving him.
I think we could give him some
We can make a new show.
You think I can make him pissed off?
We can call it the Givers of Personality. And then we can give personality.
Is it his as a Liberty University car?
Yeah.
Oh, I could piss him off. I'm pretty good.
Why would you want to? That's not giving him personality. That's just getting him fired up.
It gives you personality.
No, I think he need.
When he pissed off at.
I think Stuart Haas Racing should hire me and you, and we can be their official podcast spokespeople. We can.
So can
then
we?
They can have the most 4 sliced bread vanilla blah blah.
Well, Tony Stewart is.
We can give it the personality.
He's kind of a rebel.
He can be with us,
and maybe he would like to have the only 2
called RCB
co-hosts that are Cannonball Run champions.
Smoking backwards.
Oh, that! Wow. Where's he from? Illinois. We might be able to do that.
I think it's okay in Illinois.
Yeah. Or is it Indiana he's from? Somewhere. He's from somewhere.
With an eye.
In the middle. He's from the middle.
He's from yonder.
I do like that. He was my favorite driver.
I like Tony. I mean, we hadn't got good sound bites since then. He was the king of sound bites.
Do you think Tony would let us interview? He might.
If
we might have a better chance with Tony Stewart.
If we're the Smoke Backwards podcast, yeah. And then we work for Stuart Haas Racing.
Or we need to email this
and then
episode
they pay us to give their drivers can focus on nothing but being good drivers. They don't have Eric Almadillo. He don't have to have a personality. Who else they got?
Not when you're Wheel.
Briscoe.
Not when your wheel cuts in half. What? The
Dude,
blue beam hit it?
Let's talk about that. He got penalized 2 laps for the wheel breaking. That is a part failure. That is
Total
a single
failure.
source NASCAR part that they cannot modify. It broke. The wheel didn't fall off because of a
It
loose lug.
split in half.
It broke. That NASCAR should have been parked for 2 laps. Not him.
Or at least eliminate 2 races in Phoenix.
Exactly. Because NASCAR let the wheel break, we can no longer race at Phoenix. I think that solves all problems.
Hey, you know what? That solves problems along with our partnering with Tony Stewart because he's in drag racing now.
He won yesterday.
Did he? I saw his wife lose.
I saw him win. Well, it looked like he was winning. He was either winning or really excited when he got out of the car. So
Well, he's got a very attractive wife. I'm sure he's excited.
he gets really excited. Woohoo!
She was waiting for him.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
Hey, more power to him.
Hey.
I saw where they had all the bowling champions at his house because he has the bowling alley in the basement.
Well, you know,
Look tight down there, though.
bowling's
Ton of
big up
crap.
there in the Midwest and the Northeast.
I think he's
It's kind of like the sprint car racing.
I think he would be considered a hoarder.
Do you?
Yeah, he has a ton of helmet. He even has a car hanging on the wall. When the Prius dies, should we hang it on the wall of the barn?
Battery weighs a couple thousand.
We'll
We
take
just
it out.
remove the battery and hang it up.
Yeah, just on its side.
Hey, we could take the.
We could write Cannonball Run Champions on the hood,
Yeah, we could.
and then we'll just hang it on the wall.
We could cut the roof off and put a number on the top.
Hey, we could cut the roof off, sit in it to record.
We can put 23 up there for
That could be the new studio.
being the 2023 Cannonball Run champions.
We probably could turn that into a pretty cool studio. We sit in the 2 front seats and record us from the
Yeah,
window
we
in.
can do that.
Yeah, I think we can make that happen. When it dies, we'll just... Now we're down to... Went from hanging the whole car on the wall to just using the windshield and the front 2 seats.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think it'll work.
What about chop off the front clip with the headlights? Make that. And then put an inverter. I know, put an AC light bulbs in the lights so they go on behind us.
Well, we still want the air to run, so if it gets hot.
That's true. We could sit in the seats and record.
So NASCAR throws a caution with 10 to go when Harrison Burton
Yeah, that never happens.
bumps the wall.
I'm getting a little tired of
Look,
green, white
NASCAR,
caution.
but NASCAR's consistent here.
You know, they hate Tony Stewart's team.
Every week, they throw a caution.
Every week they screw SHR up.
Well, last week it was Truex that got screwed, but that was pit call. But he wouldn't have mattered. Who was leading when Larson was leading last week when the phantom caution came
Yeah,
out?
and then Harvick was leading on this one. Why can't they wait 10 seconds? I know Phoenix is smaller. I know, and it happened on the front stretch. But why can't they wait just a second to see if they recover?
Within the last 20 laps of a race, if it looks like they're going to wreck, they're hitting the button.
But green, white, checkered, you could watch the race, except we got a podcast. You could watch the last... Well, you could just turn it on when it's supposed to be over and watch the green, white, checkered, basically. And that's the race.
That's it. But that's not what we want.
Well, that's what they got. That's the product they're giving us.
You didn't have anything happen in stage 1 or stage 2. Stage 3, Kevin got fast. And then 10 laps to go, we had 2 wrecks. Because, AJ, he's
a
AJ.
genius.
If they wouldn't have had that, if Harrison Burton wouldn't have wrecked, AJ would have finished the race because his clock wouldn't have went off until he got on pit road.
I'm going to tell you a little story.
About AJ?
I didn't spin out and hit the wall. I went as fast as AJ yesterday. No, Saturday. No, yesterday.
Saturday.
I don't remember. Because it's time change.
Daylight saving time screwed you all up.
Yeah. I went as fast as he was, and I did not just lose it and start spinning.
Hey,
And I got 4,000 miles on my tires. My Firehawks.
I think he got wrecked yesterday.
You think he got bumped?
Problem
Well, that
is,
fantastic coverage, I don't know.
that's the problem. Due to inflation, Fox has had to lay off so many camera people, so they're missing pretty much the whole race now.
Well, why don't they get an electronic camera? They got a drone flying over it. How do they miss this? Get 3 or 4 drones fly over. Remember that stupid thing they had, like the NFL had before COVID, with
That
the
broke?
wires that broke, and they had to postpone the race for an hour to pick up the pieces?
And then they let...
That was in Charlotte, wasn't it?
That was during the All-Star race, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't that in
Because
Charlotte?
they let
Yeah.
the cars fix their... You could fix any damage caused by the Fox wire. That's what it was. It was that zip wire broke that they used.
What a great team they got there.
I mean, Fox is doing awesome. But we say that every week, you know. Maybe Fox should hire us. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to running a race. But neither do they, so...
Yeah, we got just as much experience as they do, don't we?
I mean, in reality, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a podcast. Why can't we run the broadcast?
We have a media company.
Well, yeah, we're basically Fox.
We're competing with them.
That's probably why they suck so bad.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
scared of us.
yeah, they know we're coming.
We fixed it.
You think we could get bid on the rights? We
Let's
could
try.
just hire fans and put GoPro cameras, those weird little bras they wear.
Make all the fans at the track wear a camera, and there you go.
They can keep them.
You can decide which angle you want to watch. We'll give you access to all.
We'll
6,000
crowdsource the coverage.
It's free.
Yeah.
No commercials.
Yeah.
If I'm elected president, first thing I'm eliminating is commercials.
I think we need to go to the top and send a link to this podcast to NASCAR.
To Tony
No, NASCAR.
and NASCAR.
I think they need an independent voice.
They don't want an independent voice. They're like our former employer. They like hiring yes people,
Yeah.
and nothing ever changes. It just keeps getting worse because they're all kissing each other's butt all the
I
time.
think I'm going to a convention in a week or two where I'm going to see our ex-employer.
Good.
Oh, I'm gonna mess with them.
All you gotta do is let them listen to this show.
I don't think they have the ability to listen.
Probably.
I think our ex-employer told them they couldn't, because didn't we have to sign a non-constitutional agreement, meaning that we lost our constitutional rights just by being employed by them?
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So they brought out a green white checker yesterday. Larson, well, before that, when they went green, Larson and his buddy there, I thought they was going to wreck each other. And then they go racing again at the green white checker, and I really thought they were going to wreck each other.
Hey, they almost let Bartlett win.
So, I mean, Larson and Byron about took each other out completely, which would have given the win to Blaney.
Well, Blaney's not capable of winning.
No.
Second place is first place for him.
Well,
That's his favorite spot.
take what you can get, right?
Well, but he consistently gets a lot of seconds.
Well, it's kind of crazy that we complain about that. That's not good enough.
Yeah, we got mediocre people like, what's his name? Almatanger?
Almondingle.
Tainter?
Almondinger. Is it Almond?
Almandinger? Is it like all men?
His first name is AJ, and then his last
Maybe his
name
first name is also
a
Almandinger.
mile and a half long. So it's Almondinger.
Maybe it's
Almond
Almandinger J. Almandinger.
Maybe it's Almonds Dangle.
Oh.
So it's Almond Danglers.
He doesn't have nuts, he's got almonds.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you feel like an almond.
Huh. Are almonds nuts? They make milk. I think almonds are in the cattle family.
You ever milked a nut?
Well, I'm not going to answer that, or we'll be rated X, and you'll have to listen to us on YouPorn.
Have you?
The only podcast hosted by YouPorn has nothing pornographic in it, but because of what they say and what it could mean.
For what I've started. I meant to say, have you ever milked an almond? Is it almond or almond?
Man, you're asking the wrong person, dude.
Have you ever milked an almond?
I've milked a cow
Okay.
and a goat.
Have you ever seen the tits on an almond?
Well, there is a tip that's kind of sharp, and then there's a round butt.
I don't think you can milk the tip of an almond.
I eat
You
almonds.
know how to make almond milk? I know how to make it.
I'll shoot a short of me milking an almond.
I've
Let's see if
figured it out.
anything comes out.
I know how they make almond milk.
What if I put it on a cutting board and smash it with a hammer? Does milk come out?
No, they put it in their mouth, they chew it up, and then they swish it around.
Oh,
There you go.
I do
You have almond milk.
We keep some in the fridge. I drink it occasionally.
My daughter drinks it. So we have some. It's sweet.
Actually, I'll bring almonds here next week, and we'll shoot a short, and we'll try to milk them on the short.
I'm pretty sure you can't milk an almond.
You don't think? Well, how do we have almond milk then?
You know you can milk a cat. Because
I ain't gonna. I know.
I've seen the Fockers meet the parents.
I ain't milking no cat.
Greg, little Geppetto.
I remember.
Just milking little in a saucer. Little Geppetto brought him back to life. I have nipples. Can you milk me, Greg?
I'm surprised we didn't see anybody milking almonds in California. We saw everything else.
I mean, there could have been almond milk in that Pringles can.
Yeah,
that's where you hit it at. I want to say thank you to Denny Hamlin real quick, because if it wasn't for Denny, I really would have kicked your butt in fantasy. But Denny decided to finally pay back Ross Chastain, moving them both from good finishing spots to the back.
And the coverage really didn't. They just said,
how are you not going to show
all
that?
Mike Joyce said, they always seem to get together.
Duh.
Okay.
That should have been, there was the biggest headline of the race. Biggest headline of the race, Denny paying back Ross Chastain. And what did Fox do? Screwed that up. How you miss that? Like, common sense. Come on, guys.
They're like, my grandmother played a trick on me once. I didn't know what the stuff was. She said, there's a bag of chocolate for you right there. And I don't like chocolate now, but as a kid, not like today, we have candy bars everywhere. It's like a once a quarter treat was to get candy when I was a kid. Kind of like going to McDonald's was like a once every 3 months treat.
Back in the 80s?
Yeah. So I go over and I look at them like, well, it looks kind of old. But you know, old people from the farm, they don't throw stuff away, even though it's out of date. And I was like, well, I'll try it. It was the nastiest damn chocolate you'd ever had.
What was it?
It was something called carob.
Carob?
Carob chocolate.
Never heard of it.
I think it's made out of something other than a cocoa bean.
Is it Irish?
Well, she's Scottish. It's got to be Scottish.
That was Middle Eastern.
I mean, her maiden name was Clark and her married name was Anderson. It's pretty damn Scottish.
Could you imagine if we're over in the Middle East and we have carob by Arabs?
Carobs, but it might be an Arab thing, though. You never know.
You had come pee in my teepee in New Mexico.
You know,
you could have carobs by Arabs.
If we had a large fan base of Arabs for NASCAR, instead of clapping, will we have...
You're horrible. Now you've pissed off the Arabs. Way to go, Jamie.
Or are they Asians or Arabs? What are they? They're Middle Arabs Eastern. Living in Asia?
How'd they get to Asia?
They are Asia.
Arab?
Uh-huh.
Arab's not even a country.
Turkey is in Asia.
When I think of Arab,
Jerusalem's in Asia.
When I think of Arab, I'm thinking of Afghanistan or Iraq.
Well, they're in Asia.
And when you started yodeling, the Arab yodel.
No, that was the celebration tongue wag.
When you started doing that, it made me think of the Middle East, as in Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all the stands.
I think Asia's too big. They need to make another continent.
And call them what, Middle Easterners?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they call them.
The Middle East and Asia.
So we say Middle Easterners.
But if you look at the map, it ain't a continent. It's part Asia.
Well, we can't just start making new continents. So
someone had to name them at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, in America, we're changing the definition of every word in the flipping dictionary right now. Our president changes the meaning of inflation once every 6 months.
I think he might do it daily.
I think it's a quarterly thing they report. So he does it quarterly. They changed that definition. But I'm just saying, we can't start adding new continents. Next thing you know, they'll be wanting to make Washington, D.C. a state.
Should we be rushing our bank and getting withdrawals right now? Should there be a bank run since the Silicon Valley Bank exploded?
Oh, Biden will take care of them. It's okay.
Yeah, I always trust the government to take care of me.
Yeah. If you can't trust the government.
So honest people.
If you can't trust the government, who can you trust?
Well,
think of a lot of
that's a whole new podcast there, Brad.
That's a much longer list.
Wow, that's a long podcast.
Did you watch qualifying on Saturday?
I did watch. It was raining then, so yes, I did.
The cars look pathetically slow.
They look like my Prius going to California on 50-mile-an-hour headwind.
No, it's like...
What's the fix? How can we fix Phoenix?
I don't think you can.
NASCAR ain't leaving. They've proven that.
Well, then we need to only run there once a year. And I hate to say, I hate that our championship race is at a track we know is not going to produce good racing.
So let's move the championship race to Texas.
No.
It's just as crappy.
Yeah, I mean, you get the same race, basically. I think we go back to Homestead with it. Miami's a good city for it.
Why don't we just cancel the summer race at Daytona and end the season where we started it?
I'm not in disagreement with that. But do you know how many people would be pissed if your championship 4 came down to Daytona? Drivers included?
Just let the top 16 race. Let's eliminate the losers. Let's let the best drivers race the championship. Let's take the riffraff out. Let's just
the 4?
No, not the. Well, that would be. I would love that too. I'd watch it. Let's cut it down to a 100-lap dash, mandatory 2 pit stops, mandatory.
Well, that's basically what it is
now. It's a 250.
You don't need to watch till the very last pit stop. The winner of the championship is going to, I mean, Kyle Larson won his championship.
But that eliminates the off-road pass. It eliminates the bullshit caution.
Well, no doubt.
4 cars.
I agree. But I just don't see that as entertaining.
Let's give them their portion of the purse to stay away.
You're better off eliminating Phoenix than the other way. With the charters, you couldn't do that anyway.
So where would you go for a championship? Let's eliminate Homestead and let's eliminate Texas. Let's eliminate, God forbid, Phoenix. Oh my goodness, I can't believe a championship without Phoenix.
I think Daytona and Talladega should be eliminated.
Okay, we eliminate those. Where would you go?
Darlington.
You know what? That's the OG Speedway. I agree with you.
I think
that takes skill.
Yeah, I think it.
You got 2 different ends.
And
it looks like an almond, by the way.
Can you milk Darlington?
I'm sure you can.
Over there in
David Pearson could.
I think Darlington would be a good championship race.
I think you're on it. But is it too far north?
South Carolina?
Yeah, but it's kind of north. It's close to. We're talking late. What are we talking? Mid-November, right?
Well, no, it's more like first couple weeks. First of November now.
So we're talking low 60s, mid 50s. If cars would fly, in that weather,
it would be too grippy, probably.
Okay, so we have tire wear off, so that's perfect. I'm in full agreement. Don't go backwards. Don't backpedal.
I'm not. I still think
I'm going with Darlington.
I think Darlington's the best option. I
think Bristol would be cool.
Bristol's a good option, but that is in the mountains, and
it could snow.
Well, if it gets too cool, you have too much grip, and you end up with like what we had at Martinsville last year, where the cars literally followed each other around for 500 laps.
What if we take the top 16 and run them at North Wilkesboro for the championship race?
I don't think you can.
This riffraff, somebody's paying them to just randomly wreck.
The riffraff have to stay because there's 35 charters.
Pay them.
It doesn't matter. Charter
pay them where they
stand. Them a start in every race.
Pay them where their standings are at the last race. Just pay them.
That'll be great for Spire, but
you're not tearing up any equipment. Think it's free money.
BJ McLeod's going to love that. But, I mean, Hendricks, if their 4 drivers aren't in the Final 4, then they're not going to love that.
But if we go to a less sponsor-eccentric, I think I kind of knitted the wrong words together there. A sponsor-centered racing.
Yes.
If we eliminated that and NASCAR gave the owners more money, I think it would work.
Do you think it would be as good of a... Well, at North Wilkesboro, 60 cars would be.
I mean, look, F1 does the marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no ads.
They're getting...
I mean, they got a crappy product. I mean, I admit it. Their products seems to suck to me.
I'm not an F1 fan. I try. I really do.
Well, when you got the winner who consistently wins at 12 to 15 seconds ahead of the rest of the drivers, we got a problem.
I was talking to a guy about that recently, and he's like, yeah, but then the rest of the cars have all season to catch up. As far ahead as Van Staffenberger is, Nobody's catching up.
Hey, did you see in Supercar Australia, they took the win away from that Van Steinfire
No, I didn't.
Australian guy?
I haven't watched it yet.
They eliminated him. He got some kind of penalty.
Cheating?
I think he was snorting cocaine on the hood or something afterwards.
That's an easy 15 horsepower.
Yeah.
You think he put the cocaine in the fuel cell as well?
Can we be sued by an Australian in America?
What did you say wrong?
I don't know.
That he put cocaine in the fuel cell?
Can't deny it now it's recorded.
I don't know. I didn't
The intake, the air intake.
The air intake.
Yeah, put cocaine in there. Why am I fascinated with cocaine? I don't do cocaine.
Do you think it makes the car go faster?
Yeah.
It's like jet fuel.
I would think so.
Probably don't last that long, though.
Well, I've seen people do cocaine and they're zipping around.
I'm talking about the driver. Maybe that's what happened to Allmendinger. He got so excited in the car he wrecked.
Well, he has been found guilty of using performance-enhancing drugs.
Adderall. Was that performance-enhancing?
I don't know.
I think I functioned better off of it than when I was on it. So
I don't know. Well,
you function better off of Ritalin.
Ritalин's my friend.
Or was. Hey, Hendricks Motorsports, the louvers. NASCAR confiscated them. NASCAR makes a single source product or part called the louver. It goes in the hood. You're not allowed to modify
They
these.
went with the unmodified and still won. It ain't the louver.
Exactly.
But
so NASCAR confiscated all 4 teams plus Justin Haley's louvers and took them back to the R&D center today. They're going to look them over and determine if there's a penalty. I think NASCAR is between a rock and a hard place because if you don't penalize them, it looks like you're showing favoritism, which in the past NASCAR has shown favoritism to Hendricks Motorsports. So
here's a point I'm going to make. If they took their car to the wind tunnel to make their louvers faster in the wind tunnel, penalize them. If they just made an adjustment to make it work right, I think they ought to be fine.
I think if NASCAR gives you a part that does not fit, and NASCAR has admitted that they have a problem with these single source louvers not fitting. So if they made it fit because it wouldn't fit prior and it didn't give them an advantage, I mean, you're opening up a can of worms, but I hate to sound like a supporter of Hendricks Motorsports. I mean, because I do like them, but I don't see if they made it fit. What if it
So
flew
do you
off?
make an example of them, charge them 200-point fine, suspend all these people, and then now they're not even going to be, their points, they're going to be handicapped in the championship?
No.
Even though they won?
I don't think you. I think if, like you said, if you find out that they use this as an air advantage, yes. If they used it because it came flying off the car and they didn't want it to, then no, you can't. You can't penalize. It's just like Amarillo having a 2-lap penalty because their dang wheel broke.
Well, I think he needs to be penalized for having Chinese chickens on the hood.
There's probably a Chinese wheel on there too, and that's why it broke.
Yeah, he probably got
a knockoff wheel.
A little bit of woo-on fell off of that thing.
No, I don't think you penalize them unless it shows they were doing something other than making it not fly out.
Do they have their own wind tunnel? We were there on campus. I didn't see a building big enough to be like a wind tunnel.
I've often wondered that. I know they have their own Sims, but their Sim rig is nothing like that.
I'm thinking Chevy. The Chevy Lab was on the property, wasn't it? Yeah, just past it.
That was a Chevy dealership.
It wasn't like Chevy racing headquarters?
I don't know, but I thought it was a dealership. We turned around their parking lot.
We'll have to go back and find out.
Yeah, we'll be up that way again in May, hopefully.
Maybe, if we get that pass. Hey, Mr. Smith, we still like you, if you listen.
Now, what about Josh Berry, man? Finished top 10 in his second cup race. That proves that he's a good driver.
You can't take anything away from him. That's for sure.
You've seen drivers step in as substitutes and not do as well as Josh Berry did.
I think the expectations are 0, though,
I mean,
and he's got a 10.
I think he's got a good shot of going out and winning this weekend in Atlanta.
Well, maybe Tony Stewart should give him a phone call.
Maybe. He has somewhat of a personality. I haven't gotten to know him that well. But
Stewart-Haas lacks a personality. even Harvick, he's going to be I'm telling you, he's going to be the little gentleman diplomat this last season.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was hoping he would just loosen the tongue and just fire away. But
now I will say, his season started off better this year than last year. So every time somebody retires, their last season's always mediocre. You notice that?
Well, I'm hoping he's going to go out with a bang and get 3 or 4 wins and fight for the championship.
I'd like to see him win the championship, then retire. I just think that would be cool to see the championship winner retire the next year. Mic drop moment.
But are Fords good enough to win a championship this year? Look what Hendricks tearing it up.
Yeah, Hendricks had all 4 cars in the top 10.
Chevy's won every race. Yeah. So,
that hasn't happened since like 2001. And Chevy's won the first 4 races very well. I hope they go out.
So what happened to the single source parity? It's gone now?
It's gone, yeah. These good teams are good teams no matter what car you put them in. You get the best teams in the garage a whole year to work on a car. Now they're all basically even.
So let's open up the horsepower and let your foot decide how good or bad you're going to be.
Yeah, but NASCAR don't want to do that because that might burn more fuel and that's not good for the environment. And they're on the Green New Deal and they want to bring electric Tesla cars in soon. So I don't see that happening.
Well, according to some movie stars, Tesla's not American anymore.
It's not?
I don't know.
I ain't heard that yet.
When are we going to add green to the American flag since we're so green?
I don't know. We're not that green. It's just as bad to make a battery for a car as it is to drive with a gas car.
So we take our smokestack factories and we move them to China and let them pollute for us. Isn't that the reality? Isn't that really what we've done? But so we let a different country...
China has cheaper labor.
Well, they also have no EPA or less of an EPA. Is that what we're doing? And then we allow Norfolk Southern to crash their trains to scare the crap out of us. So we put more manufacturing over to China and put Americans out of work.
They crashed their train. Then while under investigation for crashing their train, they crashed another train in the same state.
Well, we finally got one in Alabama, which wasn't... They did one in West Virginia, which is very close to the other ones.
They had 2 in Ohio.
They like to crash their trains.
And 1 in Michigan.
Do you like how our politicians are saying, oh, it's his fault? No, it's our fault. No, it's their fault.
What was it I was reading today?
Why don't they just fix it?
Biden was blaming Trump again for something today. Oh, the banks. The Silicon Valley Bank. He said that's Trump's fault.
Okay.
You've been in charge for 2 years, bucko. It's your fault now.
I think the fingers...
You could blame Trump first 6 months. After that...
Well,
the buck stops at the president.
Well, that's why we make you president, because the buck stops. You're the top dog, right?
Yeah. Unless you got dementia and you're a robot that's being operated by some guy.
Trump blamed everything on Obama.
I think Obama's making all the decisions. We need to
stop pointing fingers and fix things.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Fixing it prevents elections.
I got a brand new tire.
If they fix everything, why do you need them anymore? That's how they look at it. There's no money in the cure.
Do you think they're pointing the finger because donations to the re-election campaign increase every time they point to someone else and say it's not my fault?
As long as their donations increase, as long as it benefits somebody else.
Sounds like Fox Sports to me.
Sounds like a criminal organization.
We suck and we don't know why, because it's NBC's fault.
So Josh Berry, as we know, is going to continue filling in on the ovals, and Rodney Sandstorm Taylor is going to be filling in for Chase.
Are they going to let him wear jorts when he does left and right turns?
Just for the interviews, he should so be Rodney during the interviews.
Oh, he should.
With his Chase Elliott jacket, get a Chase Elliott jacket, jorts.
We could have Chase with a attitude.
It would be awesome.
No, Chase has an attitude. Chase with personality.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I think it's awesome anyway. I like Jordan Taylor. I think this is awesome. That Coda's got a lot of big stars coming in.
He's awesome.
You got F1, you got Indy, you got IMSA. I mean, Coda's going to be pretty darn cool this year. I can't wait. Actually, the next 2 weeks should be pretty cool. Atlanta and then Coda.
How do you think Allmendinger will do at Coda?
I think he'll wreck.
Just because he can't handle the extra horsepower?
It's the length. It's the time in the car. After 2.5 hours,
he expires.
He expires. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, he's getting old, man. He's getting up there in age.
Was it an Xfinity race or a Cup race where he crawled out of his car and pretended to have hyperventilation?
I don't remember, but I know exactly.
Or am I just making it up?
It might not have been him.
Okay.
It happened to somebody in racing at one point in time over the last 100 years.
It's happened in racing.
One day. And if it hadn't, it will.
Allegedly, Allmendinger was involved with not drinking enough water one day in his life.
Yeah.
And he
could have been the Adderall.
Might have been, yeah, I bet you with the Adderall that you sweat more when you can't find any more, when you're addicted.
Yeah, I guess it caused DTs or something like that.
Or VDs.
VDs. You don't want the VDs.
No.
That's worse than the ratus.
Or the HIVs, the HIVs.
Worse than the ratus.
Don't get the hives.
It's worse than the ratus, you know.
Don't get the hives, baby.
Chase Elliott should be back in 6 to 8 weeks. I think we said 12 weeks last week, so.
Will Chase be in the chase?
Chase in the chase, maybe. I think he will. William Byron's going back to Kyle Busch Motorsports to run 3 truck races in the 51. He's going to do Bristol Dirt, Darlington, and North Wilkesboro.
See how going to Chevy has benefited Kyle Busch?
Oh, yeah, it has.
I mean, just completely across
all the way
board.
Around. I can't find a negative.
I mean, financially, he might be making less.
His wife probably loves him more now that he drives for Chevy.
And I thought that was the Viagra.
No, I think it's because he drives for Chevy.
Oh, I agree.
She likes the trucks.
Well, I mean, Chevy is my...
Toyota don't even have a manly truck. It's a Tundra. Chevy, I mean, you got some pretty big trucks.
They're my favorite American-made vehicles.
You ever seen a fifth-wheel Toyota?
I wonder if they could even handle it. They make a 5.7 liter, though. They're not a 3/4 ton, though. Just half-ton trucks.
Not as strong. So, it's a Yoda thing.
So you got to pull a smaller trailer?
Yeah. He had a smaller trailer with Yoda. Now his trailer's bigger.
Wow.
With Chevy, your trailer gets bigger.
Do you think he had to trade in his free cars he got at Toyota? They didn't give him one just to remember?
I think he sold them.
On eBay?
Probably. Signed them and sold them for $200,000 each.
I wonder when you're going to get a Busch Brothers Toyota.
I think
a lot of these drivers end up owning car dealerships.
Should do a hair club.
Even David Reagan owned one, a Ford dealership.
Should do a hair club.
Club for Bushes?
Bush's hair.
Well, used to not have hair. Now they call them Bushes.
The Bush boys.
You know, he was calling the drag race.
Who?
Kurt.
When?
Over the weekend. The Gator Nationals.
Oh, the drag race.
Yeah, he even drove a drag car.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, we're racing, and since the NASCAR race was so boring.
The drag commute.
I thought I'd bring up NHRA. Is that it?
Yeah.
And NASCAR doesn't own them. Did you know that?
Hot Rod Association?
NASCAR doesn't own them.
And that's probably why they're not as successful.
I don't know. I found the drag races more interesting than Phoenix.
Well, there was a lot more. I would have rather sat through Sleepless in Seattle with my wife than watch the Phoenix race again. I wanted to watch this the first time, but now after knowing what I saw.
I can't watch those old movies because they got these old flip phones and they're... they act like email's hot. Oh, you got email? Yeah, I got.
We've been on a kick of watching 90s movies because I have a theory that anything after that sucks.
I'm Tom Hanks at AOL.com.
I don't like Sleepless in Seattle or...
What's the other one?
Who Got Mail?
Yeah.
You got mail.
That was brand new, dude.
I got mail.
We just got emails.
Or is it Got Mail?
What's
the name of that show?
That's the one I only seen once, where the other one I've seen godless amount of times.
My wife loves those two movies. Loves them. So I don't ever watch them with her.
Do you sleep with Adderall or without Adderall?
Do you sleep with Adderall?
Well, Sleepless in Seattle. Shouldn't you take something to knock your ass out?
NyQuil?
NyQuil, yeah.
Adderall's not going to knock you out, most likely.
Well, Ritalin never knocked me out.
No, it shouldn't.
Just slowed me down.
It's an amphetamine, right?
Yeah.
It's an upper.
It was a meth.
I don't think it's methamphetamine.
Meth in a pill?
I don't think it's methamphetamine. I think it's called amphetamine or something like that.
Ephedrine?
Not ephedrine. That was that Stacker 2 drug, wasn't it?
Was it?
It was killing all those people to lose weight. They were dying.
I wonder if we could invent a safe way to sell fentanyl to children.
Fentanyl's bad, dude.
Well, yeah, Philip Morris sold cigarettes to kids. Why couldn't we do fentanyl for children?
Did you see where in like Florida that baby died, overdosed on fentanyl from just a little granule that was left at an Airbnb and that wasn't properly cleaned?
Well, that's horrible.
Dude, I was saying fentanyl is insanely bad. Like that's a worse pandemic than anything else we got going on.
But the news doesn't like to report on that.
Well, that's because it's coming in through the southern border, which we don't want to report on either because
aren't we recruiting those?
We don't want to report on either.
But we're recruiting those people to vote. That's why they're here.
But they don't like the whole gender thing with the liberties.
But because they crossed their...
You can't take gender out of their language. Their language is feminine and masculine.
Well, you can't
get rid of genders, you screw up the whole Spanish language.
But you don't lose your wiener crossing the Rio Grande or your taco.
Well, I guess you
get across to the other side, and you've got Border Patrol saying, "What's your pronoun?" And you're like, "What?"
What was it in the Game of Thrones? A eunuch, a man without a penis, was a eunuch.
Was it without a penis or without nuts?
I thought they cut it all off.
I'm not sure about this eunuch thing. How you gonna pee though with no wiener?
I guess they have to leave a nub.
I mean, I guess.
But
I'm circumcised, so they chop something off, right? So, for all of you people that listen, all 2 of you in California,
we're sorry.
We don't want to confuse you because we're confused. I'm not confused about my pronoun, but you might be confused about my pronoun.
I'm not confused about your pronoun.
I'm not confused. We're in Georgia. I'm not confused about yours either.
It's pretty straightforward. Saw that thing that said if you ever get confused about gender, try to milk a bull.
I mean,
that'll straighten you out.
This is going to sound horrible. You might have to edit this.
Probably.
I knew a gay man once. Are you still allowed to be a gay man?
Yeah.
Are you? Actually, it's not like once. He didn't die. I still know the gay man.
I knew him one time.
Yeah. But he knows he's a gay man. Hold on. I'm doing something that's against Brad's rules. You can see it on camera.
He's looking something up.
No, I'm texting my gay man friend.
And asking
if he's still a gay man.
Are you?
Well, let's see.
See what he says. Maybe we'll have an answer. All right, so don't forget, sometimes crap, it does happen. And sometimes you need a plumber to fix it. In that case, we would call Danny Carden Plumbing, the official plumber of the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. The guys you call when crap happens. Hey, if you're in town for the Atlanta race or live nearby, make sure you come out Thursday night on the 16th from 8 to midnight to the Tavern 74.
Breaking news.
And check out Pat Patterson, the racing guy, and the Pit Road Pickers.
He's still a gay man. Breaking news.
I was going to record that for an ad.
Oh, go ahead and do it again then.
I'm not doing it again.
Go ahead. Don't be a douche.
So if you're in town, if you're in town on Thursday, come to the Tavern 74 because Pat Patterson and the Pit Road Pickers are going to be there playing from 8 to midnight. You're not going to want to miss that out or miss out on that. Or miss that out. Either way.
I'm done.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. I'm done talking
Breaking
to
news. Jamie's not on the phone no more.
My gay man friend is not dead.
All right, Jamie, if we were going to go find a motel in Atlanta for the race this weekend, where would we not want to stay at?
Well, if you drive around the loop in Atlanta, what we call 285, probably anywhere you see off 285.
If you can see the hotel from the highway, you probably don't want to stay there.
So the Super Inn in Atlanta, we got 2 Supers and they're not the same. Later we'll talk about the Super 8. But this is just the Super Inn. They didn't pay the franchise fee to be 8. Just Super. So they're Super. And they said they should have read the reviews.
Yeah.
So I've got a quick response for that. Duh.
If I've learned anything, it's to read the reviews before I book a room.
This is Tiffany on TripAdvisor. She says we arrived after 11 p.m. Well, that's dangerous in Atlanta. Almost anywhere.
Pretty much. It's getting bad.
So didn't notice the hotel was surrounded by strip clubs. This is near Six Flags, Brad. So it's also near an amusement park. But I guess strip clubs could be considered amusement too, right?
Bigger hand in hand.
Because you can watch, but you can't touch, right?
Yeah.
I've been to a strip club like once in my life.
Back in the 70s?
No, I don't think they allowed children even in the 70s to go to sex clubs.
Daddy took me 1973.
Luckily, we were fine once inside. But when my partner went outside for a smoke, he was propositioned by a prostitute.
Well, they have those in Atlanta.
The second time he went out there, he got two prostitutes. They were fighting. Well, they were asking him his pronoun, I think. And then they started fighting. One was threatening that her pimp was going to come down from the hotel. One of them had a small board with nails as a weapon. Is that like what they used in the trenches in World War I? Nails through like a little bat?
That's what that dude used on Walking Dead. Similar.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He
What's
used
his
a baseball
face?
bat.
That guy.
Deegan.
My partner was too scared to intervene in the fight and just came into warnings not to come out. Well, that's
Probably
smart.
a good idea.
Does that mean he stayed to watch, see who won?
Yeah, I'll stand out
Hey,
here and watch.
stay inside because
Y'all hide in the closet.
this is like the women of WWE with a bat and nails. Ooh, that had to hurt. So when the coast was clear, we packed up and left. Probably a good idea. Not surprised, nor even caring that there was no breakfast. So they were there a while. This dude's going out and smoking cigarettes in the middle of the night. I think he liked the prostitutes.
Maybe.
Or at least like watching the action.
He had a lot of interactions with the prostitutes.
Yeah.
Not to have paid for one.
If he got the place, I'd be a little suspicious about having a long-term relationship with this guy.
Fact.
So they realized how bad it was, but she did not realize how bad it was until after the morning, despite the smell of weed. What does that have to do with anything?
Really? I mean, what?
Inside the inner loop of 285, smells like weed. Everywhere. As I figured, well, some motels allow smoking. This was not a cheap motel either. We could have stayed at a better chain, for sure. But I thought it Wapulled. Isn't that Wapulled?
Yeah.
Not wood. Wapulled. Be like a Super 8. Well, that's why they call it Super.
Yeah.
But they didn't pay for the 8.
They didn't even get a number. They're below a 6.
Disappointed this hotel is even allowed on Booking.com. They should remove it. However, if you are a pimp, drug dealer, prostitute, do you think you hold all three of those titles if you're in the biz?
Pimp, drug dealer, prostitute. Can you be a pimp
I can see a prostitute. Wouldn't you be an independent prostitute? I can see a prostitute selling drugs. I mean, you're already breaking the law with prostitution, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of prostitutes that sell drugs. I mean,
I would think an independent, though, is not walking the street.
What is an independent prostitute?
One not represented by a pimp.
So she is her own pimp.
I would think so.
So you
cut out the middleman.
So you could be a pimp, prostitute, and drug dealer then.
I would think, though, you're more high class, wouldn't you?
Well, instead on the high class prostitutes, don't they call it a madam instead of a pimp?
I don't know. I mean, we're going down this road here. I'm just.
You never watched CSI?
I did.
CSI Vegas. Remember?
But that madam was whipping.
See, now you know
the head dude, right?
Yeah, I think somehow they were involved.
Yeah.
Now you know what I'm talking about, though. See, this is where my knowledge of prostitution comes from. Is CSI Las Vegas.
I mean, I've never visited a prostitute.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well, I've never caught a disease from a prostitute because I've never visited one.
You can't catch a disease from a prostitute if you don't ever go to a prostitute.
That's true, and I'm proof of that.
That's an ad.
That's my pronoun, non-prostitute user.
Disease-free?
Because that's not even a pronoun.
Non-prostitute. Do you use prostitution?
No.
What would you call
But sometimes I prostitute myself.
All right.
But I don't sell myself for sex. Anyway, they said disappointed this hotel is even allowed on Booking. They should remove it. However, if you are a pimp driller, it's a great location for you. Enjoy. Well, they already know that because they're there.
Yeah, they're already
right?
working it.
They own that corner. So this was right below it. Same hotel. Prostitute infested hotel. So if you're into prostitutes, I'm not judging you. You should, and you come to the race in Atlanta this coming Sunday. You should probably look up the Super Hotel on Fulton Industrial Highway.
Yeah, here's 2 reviews about prostitution.
I mean, they are all about the toots there.
Matter of fact, if you're looking for a prostitute while in town for the race, just go to the Super Inn in Atlanta.
I mean, this is funny. I mean, and this was by Izzy0523.
All right, Izzy.
Prostitute-infested hotel. First of all, there were 4 strip clubs across the road from the hotel. Is that true? I don't remember seeing any strip clubs by Six Flags.
Not that I can think of.
We even have a business location 2 exits past. We need to research this.
I mean,
not go in.
I had
actually we did
a family that lived right there on.
You know what?
Off that exit. So
we got on Fulton Industrial to get away from traffic
there
2 weeks ago.
There's some strip clubs on Fulton Industrial off 285, I think.
Well, there's 4 strip clubs there. The other person, it must be true.
Obviously,
they say
both
it.
of these people say there is, so I'm going to go with what they say.
Secondly, there were about 5 prostitutes at the entrance of the hotel. When we went into the lobby, we asked the clerk if it was safe there, and he said, of course, why would you ask? And I said, because there are about 5 prostitutes standing in front of the entrance. Then he said, no. What's funny is she believed them. He said, no, they don't come on my property. Well, isn't the parking lot his property too? He said, you have nothing to worry about.
That's your first red flag right there. He probably had a gun on.
He was probably getting a cut.
He's probably the pimp.
He might be the pimp.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We believed that until that night when we saw him give the prostitutes a room key.
There you go. Told you he was the pimp.
Wow, the whole weekend stay, the prostitutes were cold. I guess they were prostituting from the lobby of the hotel. Why, because they were cold?
How does he know? Probably nipply, a little nipply. That's how he knew they were cold.
The pimps were outside bringing in the customers. I saw this with my 2 very own eyes. You know what? I have seen things with one eye closed.
I have too.
Huh. It must be true.
But he saw it with both eyes.
They would go upstairs to have sex with their customers. Then about 30 minutes later, the customers would leave. Then the prostitute would hand their pimps the money. No lie.
You know, I've never witnessed this, but when I think about it, so prostitute, customer goes to room, has sex, prostitute gives money to pimp. So I don't discredit what this guy's saying by any means. So, I mean, I'm sure he's not lying. He basically described the way the transaction would happen and has happened for hundreds of years.
Thousands. Isn't that the OG profession?
Prostitution?
Yeah.
That's one of the old ones.
Nuns and prostitutes.
Carpenters.
Yeah, because you had to build something.
Yeah. So.
You think when the Cro-Magnon man, or after they got booted out of... See, I'm trying to satisfy everybody after they got booted out of Eden. So... Do you think when they got 2 sticks together and made a shelter that they realized they were carpenters?
Probably.
Okay. I believe it.
But no lie, he was right.
But she says she can't... What's a she?
Oh.
She can't believe that the actual hotel management has turned this hotel into a prostitute house. Never go here. Well, that's... Why would you say never go here? Yeah. But... If you are a prostitute hotel and you want a prostitute, you should go here, I would think.
Yeah, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
if I want some Irish whiskey, I go to the liquor store.
Yeah. But, I mean, and if you're looking for a prostitute, you actually go in with a little more confidence because you know how the transaction goes down. You go to the front desk, ask for a prostitute. They'll escort you to the room. You're up there for 30 minutes. Then you leave, and then she pays the pimp. No lie. I mean, that's what Lizzie says.
Why not be an independent then? I don't know how you market, though.
Well, you probably go.
I guess you're walking around in your pajamas as you're marketing, isn't it?
You probably go to Motel 8.
Okay.
I think that's where the independents work at. Not just the Super.
Just because of that, you can see later I went to the Super 8 because this lady said she thought it was kind of the Super 8. The Super 8 was better. Well, look, we'll get to it later, but drugs, prostitution, gunfire. They actually use guns at the Super 8.
Well,
maybe that's why it's an 8.
Well, 6 rounds, so. But yeah, sure.
So next we go to the Travel Inn.
From Shoes.
This is low class prostitutes here at the Travel Inn. From Shoesel M on TripAdvisor.
I bet that's his first name.
Truzel M does a lot of 41 contributions, 29 helpful votes.
That's not a lot.
Great place if you like prostitutes with sores on their faces trying to hustle you. So this is where prostitutes go after they get the HIV.
When you get fired from the Super?
For having the HIV.
You travel to the inn?
Yep. She got the HIV.
You go to the Travel Inn.
She gonna get demoted to the Travel Inn. It's like, minor leagues in baseball, you get sent down.
Probably the meth.
Because she doesn't know what she's doing.
It's probably the meth.
I would, if I was a prostitute, I'd do tons of meth.
Heroin?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
you wouldn't want to remember
aren't you pretty much rock bottom?
You wouldn't want to remember that crap.
And I'm not even judging these ladies that are prostitutes. They're earning a living. They got to do what they got to do, right? I'm saying if I was a male prostitute, I'd probably, do some H.
They'd have to pay you. Or you would have to pay them.
That wouldn't be a prostitute, though, would it? What do they call those guys that pay for the prostitutes?
Johns.
Why do they come up with Johns? Why couldn't they be a Mike or a Jerry?
I don't know. I never thought about that. John.
What do they call it when you find the root of something?
Square.
Root square. Yeah, that's right. Never mind. Where are we going after this race in Atlanta? Do you know?
What do you mean?
We going to Bristol? Not us, but NASCAR. I say we
Coda.
like. Oh yeah, Coda.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's Austin.
Do they got prostitutes in Austin?
I don't know. You should ask Austin.
Austin from Austin? Or Austin that we know that's not from Austin?
Well, I just meant like the state of.
The city itself?
Yeah.
Not the person. Not a person, Austin.
No, like ask the city. Like, ask Siri? Siri, do you have?
Let's DM Austin Centric and ask them if there's prostitutes in Austin.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
That's a great idea. And we'll get back to you next week. We say that a lot. Do we ever get back to people?
No, never.
If y'all want to know,
we're not even going to send Tony Stewart probably a link to our podcast.
Yeah, we'll tweet it to him.
Should we?
Yeah.
Think he'll listen?
Probably not, but it's worth a shot.
I said he's my favorite driver.
He can only say no once.
Would I fanboy out? So he could just not respond. Isn't that a no?
I would actually, if he responded with no, that would be better than nothing at all.
I'd be excited with a no.
Like, yes, we got a no.
From Tony Stewart.
All right, Travel
It'd be his handlers. Anyway.
Great place to get
I can't claim that this review is for a recent stay.
Okay.
But it's one I will never forget.
Amen.
I got stranded in Atlanta and needed a place and made the mistake of picking this horrible place.
Yep.
I was so tired and fell asleep immediately after putting my bags down.
Wow.
After a bit, the phone rang and someone asked if I wanted anything to drink. Being groggy, young and inexperienced in the ways of the world, I thought, Travel Lodge must have room service. After she listed several alcoholic beverages, I asked for an orange soda. After I hung up, I started to think and realized something was wrong. I don't think this hotel had room service, and even if it did, room service doesn't call you. After a few minutes, there was a knock on the door, and looking through the peephole, I saw a large prostitute with sores on her face. Needless to say, I never came out of my room until it was time to catch my flight home. That place was very scary, dirty, and, well, awful.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. How many sores did she have on her face when you look in the peephole and you see a sore?
Oh, it's bad. But this guy's an idiot. I mean, he ordered an orange soda.
I don't know. If he was young, like when I was 18, I'd probably do something that's stupid. Yeah.
They got room service here at the prostitute-infested Travel Inn. No. Nobody's that stupid. I don't care how old you are. If he was 12, maybe. He's waiting on a flight. He
was hoping it was a hot prostitute.
He checked himself in. Therefore, he's 21 or older. Look, I got married at 20. It's hard to get a hotel until you're 21. Nobody wants to rent it to somebody under 21. I know this. So, he's at least 21 or older. Nobody's stupid enough to be woke up in the middle. He's asleep.
He was.
I know. He fell asleep standing up in the room. He was woken up in the middle of the night by a phone call like, can I get you something to drink? What?
See,
you're a special case of stupid to believe that.
Here's what I would say.
Say no, and hey, I would have answered the dang phone.
I'd say only if you got Sunkissed. That's my favorite orange soda. What's your favorite orange soda? Are you a Fanta or a Sunkissed?
I go both ways, honestly.
Okay.
I like both Fanta and Sunkissed. Isn't there another one?
You're by orange?
Yeah, I'm Pan.
Pan
Orange.
Pan orange. Is there another one? Does Pepsi have, or does Pepsi own Sunkissed now?
If I had to pick a Fanta flavor, it'd probably be grape. The red one's good too.
I used to like knee-high grape, but they don't make knee-high anymore.
So, did you, when you went to the movie theater, mix everything together? Try that?
No, my favorite, and there's a name for it because my dad liked it too. I like Coke and orange Fanta mixed.
Okay.
50-50.
Is it good?
It's good. I like it.
I never tried it. I had that orange Coke that time.
That's QT. I'll mix them.
No, do you don't remember as a kid when people would mix every flavor?
Oh, yeah.
What was that called? I feel like we called it a suicide.
I think that's what we called it too.
I saw it on Twitter recently, and I was reading. Some people said suicide. Some said kamikaze. But I remember doing it. We would do it in school. Like,
you know, the theaters
horrible, but you'd still drink it because you did it.
Theaters,
the best thing ever.
And then 7-Eleven were the first to put the drink fountains out where you can do it. Have you noticed theaters now put it back behind the counter, so you can't do it anymore?
That's because there's no more free refills.
When they're charging $20 for a Coke, there should be free refills.
I just bring them home.
Oh. There's a sad announcement after this. Loves.
Yeah, I heard. I tweeted it.
It's horrible.
I hope it doesn't change. They have the best travel stops.
I love Loves.
I hate that Mr. Loves passed away. Bless his heart.
He sure saved us on the trip. He saved me during COVID, too, and he saved us on our Cannonball Run that, oh, by the way, we're champions of.
Cannonball Run.
But anyway.
Super 8 by Wyndham.
Sores in my orange soda. That's what you ought to call this episode.
Oh, it's probably going to make...
Prostitute sores.
No, that's nasty.
Or was it a pimple?
It could have been. Or it could have been gonorrhea of the face.
I've never seen a meth head with their weird sores up close because I always cringe and run to the car.
Yeah, I don't want to see it close.
So anyway, we're going to the Candler Inn. Oh, there's only one more after Candler. They didn't title it.
Nope.
But this is Lewis Amberg on Google. We're going back to Google. Everyone, by the way, was 1 out of 5. This is a 2 out of 5, but he says he hates it. Stay inside this hotel after 8 p.m. Just outside are the locals. Yeah, you don't want our locals. More than happy to sell you anything you need. I even had a guy in a wheelchair. This is why I picked it. Had a guy in a wheelchair start some stuff with me because I didn't want anything he was selling. This is a bad area of East Atlanta.
Yep.
I would suggest going south or west of this place. $60 for a night. Okay, rooms, but the outside elements will creep you out if you have to go to the store and walk.
You ain't walking far in East Atlanta.
You ain't walking far in anywhere in Georgia.
No.
We ain't set up. I mean, you got a sidewalk for a block.
Yeah.
And then the next block, no sidewalk. And then the block after that, a sidewalk.
Welcome to Georgia.
So our last in this prostitute theme, Super 8, by our friends at Wyndham, who will never sponsor us.
Never.
Oh, I did run into someone, by the way. No. I ran into someone that is a hotel inspector for hotel chains.
Nice. They actually exist.
And they don't visit any of these.
Oh. Did you ask them, do they go to Wyndham?
Yeah, but she says she makes mid-6 figures. Isn't that like $500,000?
As a hotel inspector?
Uh-huh.
Are they hiring?
I mean, that's what I said.
I mean, if I could make $500,000 a year inspecting hotels,
I can spray down with off and go with my sleeping bag.
I could take a gun to these prostitute and sore riddled faces and figure it out, inspect the hotel.
You know you got a bad prostitute that's dealing drugs if there are meth sores on the drugs. But anyway, drugs, prostitution, and gunfire and more.
And more.
They're going for it.
There's more.
Well, where do we begin?
At the start.
If you enjoy the smell of cigarettes, marijuana, burn holes in your blankets and sheets, and bloodstains on your lamps, this is your place.
Amen.
I feel like we've read this review in every city in America.
We have. We almost stayed in this hotel.
Yeah. Upon our arrival to the hotel, while my wife was indoors checking us in, I sat in the car with the kids and dogs and watched as women walked around casually in very revealing clothing.
Could have just been hot out, but okay.
At first, I just assumed they were in swimsuits of some sort, as it was a little warm.
See?
But with further looking around, I found no pull on the premises.
Maybe that a sprinkler.
Things just got better from there. He found the $20 in the pants he hadn't worn in a long time and told his wife to stay inside for 10 minutes. Enjoy the air conditioning. No, he did not do that. That's me ad-libbing, folks. That's an ad-lib. There's always, but like we said, within the perimeter, there is always marijuana smoke.
Yep.
The front office clerk was nice enough to give us a bottle of their cleaning ladies' air freshener beforehand. Probably because all the
room stink.
Yeah, marijuana and cigarette smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Once we got the kids settled in for a few hours sleep, we were planning on getting before resuming our... Is that right? Yeah. He just left something out.
You're on the same line.
Yeah. Once we got the kids settled in for a few hours sleep, we were planning on getting... No, before.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not very great at English, but bad English confuses the hell out of me.
Bad English just makes our bad English worse.
Yeah.
Worser. Our English gets worser if yours is badder.
Before resuming our drive north, things started to get really weird. The kids finally got to sleep, and it came to my wife and I's attention that we were going to have to pull shifts sleeping, since apparently we had booked a room at the Drug Central Motel. Throughout the night, we were both witnesses to drug and prostitution deals in front of our window, and people fighting, gunshots ringing, and cars smashing into parked cars in the lot. Oh my God, this is the worst ever. Except there's no ghost. Or moon-eyed dude running around throwing condoms.
Maybe they were filming cops.
They might have been at a filming location. They always need a hoodish hotel to call it New York or something.
Yeah.
After observing one of these model citizens looking at me through our window, as he was probably checking to see if he could break in, I woke my wife and decided it was time to get the heck out of Dodge. No, you were in Atlanta, dude.
Yeah, not Dodge.
Not Dodge. Dodge is probably safer.
Yeah.
This was by far the worst place I've ever stayed and will never stop again in this part of town.
I wouldn't either. Wouldn't have stopped there to start with.
You know what? If you're going north-south on 75, you need to get to Kennesaw North.
Yeah.
And in 10 years, you're going to have to go to
Tennessee.
Ringgold. Yeah, Tennessee. And you need to go to...
You want to stay out of Chattanooga, too. So.
Yeah, you need to get south of Jackson, Georgia for Scythe.
Once you get to Kentucky, you're safe.
Yeah. Well, he woke his wife, and we decided it was time to get the heck out of Dodge, which we said. This was by far the worst I had ever stayed. This is not a loop. I'm reading it again. My printer printed it in size 3 font.
Yes, it's horrible.
So, she run hard. Run long, run fast. Oh, yeah. Well, I hope you're in a car.
Yeah.
Because if you have to run hard, run long, and run fast, or you're running from your pimp because they want their cut.
You're gonna make the news in Atlanta if you just take off running.
Whatever you do, just keep running away past this area of town. The best resolution I could give to fix these issues would be to bulldoze the place.
I agree. The whole town.
Old National Highway, dude. Yeah. We're going to drive it tomorrow, going to a meeting.
Always. All right, this weekend we are racing in Atlanta, and we are both going to the race this weekend in Atlanta.
It's kind of a work trip.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not all the way.
Entertaining. people.
Atlanta Motor Speedway. The race is at 3 p.m. on Fox and PRN on the radio. It's a 1.5 mile super speedway oval. It's the only one of its kind until Texas decides to do their thing. So for fantasy picks for fantasy stats this week, I just did the last 2 races combined for their average finish. I left out Kurt Busch because he's no longer racing. I left out Chase Elliott because he's not racing right now. So Ross Chastain has the best average finish here with 2.0. Daniel Soras has an average finish of 5.0. Justin Haley's average finish is 9.0, as well as Eric Jones with an average finish of 9.0. Martin Truex has an average finish of 9.5. Ryan Blaney, an average finish of 11. Corey LaJoie has an average finish of 13. Bubba Wallace, 13.5. And Brad Keselowski's average finish is 15. William Byron won the March race here, so probably not a bad pick for this March race because he's on a roll. And Chase Elliott was your July winner. With our fantasy picks last week, I had Harvick, Chastain, and Logano for a total of 40 points. And Jamie, you had Larson, Hamlin, and Gregson for a total of 56 points. Lower is better the way we do it. So I won last week.
Oh, no, I'm down by 14 points.
Yeah, overall I have 197 and Jamie has 211. Jamie, you pick first this week, man. Who you got?
Well, I'm not going with William Byron. I'm not. You know what? I'm going to really screw myself over if this doesn't work.
All right.
Blaney.
Okay.
Blaney out of my top 10. I'm really going to screw myself up here again. I'm going Joey.
Dang it.
Out of the bottom 10. And that's 2 Fords, so I don't think I'm going to go Ford again. Let's see. I'm going to go... I need a Chevy. Suarez. I'm going Suarez.
Suarez?
My heart says Chastain. My brain says Suarez.
Suarez?
Suarez.
All right, I'm going to go with... Man, I wanted Blaney. That's who I have my mark next to is Blaney. I think Blaney runs really good here. All right, I'm going to go William Byron.
It's a good pick.
He's on a roll. God, I could hate myself for this. Bubba Wallace.
Ugh.
He runs good at restrictor plates.
At least it's McDonald's. I love McDonald's.
Well, he runs good at restrictor plate tracks, so... And I wanted Joey, so I'm going to go with Byron out of my first. Bubba Wallace, 11th through 20th. And then I'll take Denny Hamlin.
I hope Denny turns it around.
Well, Denny was running good yesterday until he decided to put Ross in the wall. So, but
well, you know, Ty Gibbs is doing worse than I expected.
Is he?
Yeah, 28th last week, wasn't he?
I didn't expect a whole lot out of Ty Gibbs, so he wrecked. He was part of that last wreck yesterday, wasn't he? With the almond dinger, the almond milker.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's call him that. AJ Almond Milker.
Dinger. We're gonna milk an almond dinger.
We're gonna call him AJ
next week.
Almond Milker. All right, that's all I got this week. You got anything else?
No.
All right, thanks to everyone who watches, listens, shares this show on social media. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're at Car Backwards. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and check out our videos there. Make sure you check out the Conspiracy Juice Bar and check out our latest episode of Project Bluebeam. Check us out on Spotify and rate us. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. If you got any questions or complaints or if we offended you this week, you can DM us or email us at racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. And make sure to check out our merch store. Racecarbackwards.com has a link, or racecarbackwards.threadless.com. You can find our new Arkansas Septic Tank of the South and Race Car Backwards Mafia. So check it out.
Well, if we did offend you, tell us what we said that offended you so we can figure out if we're sorry or not.
Yeah. exactly.
That
What he
sounds
said.
mean, doesn't it?
Well, no, it's just truth.
Yeah. Because we might not be sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really the type of people who go out trying to offend people, but we do tell our truth, so that might offend people.
Well, our truth might not be your truth, but I'm sorry about my truth because I'm not sorry about my truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't that make sense?
All right, y'all have a good week. See you later.
Bye.
You just listened to a race car spelled backwards. For that, we thank you.